The justices did release an opinion on whether religious schools in Maine should receive state funding as part of an existing program that allows funding for private schools. Our congressional correspondent, Kilmeny Duchardt, is following that decision and joins us now from outside the Supreme Court. Kilmeny.
Good to be with you, Bob. The 6-3 conservative-leaning majority ruled that these schools, the religious schools cannot be excluded from Maine's state tuition program. And there were two Christian families who brought the case against the state. The 6-3 majority with the liberal dissenting Justices Breyer, Kagan, and Sotomayor. They're not saying here that Maine must fund religious education. They're essentially saying that once you do, you cannot discriminate based on religion. In other words, once a state decides to subsidize this private education, as is in the case in Maine, it cannot disqualify some private schools solely based on religion. Chief Justice John Roberts issued that opinion, saying Maine's non-sectarian requirement for its otherwise generally available tuition assistance programs violates the free exercise clause of the First Amendment. Regardless of how the benefit and restriction are described, the program operates to identify and exclude otherwise eligible schools on the basis of their religious exercise. The judgment of the Court of Appeals is reversed and the case is remanded for further proceedings consistent with this opinion. This is really, Bob, a significant victory for many parents in Maine because they don't have always non-religious schools as an option, meaning that they would have to commute further in order to send their child to school. And these private schools, they can't charge high tuition, so they really do need this funding. And this would be consistent with similar cases that we have seen from the Supreme Court on this over the past few decades. And it is expected to have a significant impact on 18 states with similar tuition programs, including Maine's neighbor, Vermont.
Yeah, and let me ask you this, Kilmeny. You're right in front of the Supreme Court. This morning, there were a lot of protesters out there. I guess they were awaiting the Dobbs ruling, which didn't come out today. I assume they disappeared?
Yeah, Bob, this has been happening every day. The Supreme Court issues these opinions. There are many protesters, pro and anti-abortion activists that have been gathering outside the high court in anticipation for that abortion case. The biggest one that the Supreme Court's considered in decades. We're talking about Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization. We're hearing and expecting, rather, that the justices may wait till the end of the term to issue that decision. But again, on days where these opinions are released, you're seeing a large number of protesters gather. But when those opinions don't drop, the place pretty much clears out at that point. So the Supreme Court now relatively quiet.
Yeah, it'll be busy again on Thursday. Thank you very much, Kilmeny.